horror story for children, The Ghostly Detectives. In the quaint little town of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and whispering woods, there was a peculiar house that stood at the end of Maple Street. It was an old Victorian mansion, its once vibrant paint now faded, and its windows covered with cobwebs. The townsfolk called it the Haunted House, but the children of Willowbrook knew it as the home of the Ghostly Detectives. The Ghostly Detectives were not ordinary ghosts. They were a team of 3 friendly spirits who had once been the best detectives in the world. There was Sir Henry, a tall and elegant gentleman with a monocle and a top hat, Miss Clara, a charming lady with a keen eye for detail, and last but not least, Mr. Whiskers, a mischievous cat ghost with a bushy tail. They had all passed away many years ago, but their love for solving mysteries had kept them bound to the earthly realm. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves turned golden and the air grew chilly, a young girl named Emily moved into the house next to the mansion. Emily was a curious and brave child, with a wild imagination and a heart full of adventure. She had heard the stories about the haunted house, but she was not afraid. In fact, she was excited to meet the Ghostly Detectives. As Emily unpacked her things, she noticed a faint glow coming from the mansion. She walked over the window and saw 3 ghostly figures floating inside. Her heart raced with excitement, and she decided to introduce herself. She knocked on the door of the mansion, and to her surprise, it creaked open slowly. Emily stepped inside, her eyes wide with wonder. The interior of the mansion was just as fascinating as the outside. Dusty portraits lined the walls, and the air was filled with the scent of old books. She walked through the grand hall and called out, "Hello? Is anyone here?" Suddenly, Sir Henry appeared before her, his monocle gleaming in the dim light. "Ah, young visitor, welcome to our home," he said with a courteous bow. Miss Clara and Mr. Whiskers soon joined him, and Emily introduced herself. "We are the Ghostly Detectives," Sir Henry explained. "We have been solving mysteries in this town for many years. We have heard about your arrival, Emily, and we believe you might be the one to help us with our latest case." Emily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "A mystery? I'd love to help." The case was unlike any other they had encountered. The town of Willowbrook had been plagued by strange occurrences. Toys would disappear from children's rooms, only to reappear in odd places. Shadows would move on their own, and eerie whispers could be heard in the night. The townsfolk were frightened, and no one knew what to do. The Ghostly Detectives had been investigating for weeks, but they had hit a dead end. They needed a fresh pair of eyes, and they believed Emily was the perfect candidate. Emily listened intently as Sir Henry explained the details. "We believe there is a mischievous spirit causing all this trouble, but we cannot see it. That's where you come in, Emily. As a living person, you might be able to spot something we've missed." With excitement and determination, Emily agreed to help. She spent the next few days exploring the town, talking to the townsfolk, and searching for clues. She discovered that the strange occurrences seemed to be centered around the old Willowbrook Library, a place she had not yet visited. One evening, Emily and the Ghostly Detectives decided to investigate the library. As they entered, they felt a chill in the air. The library was dark and quiet, with only the moonlight streaming through the windows. Emily walked through the aisles, her eyes scanning the shelves for any sign of the mischievous spirit. Suddenly, she heard a faint giggling sound. She followed the noise and found herself in the children's section. There, on a dusty shelf, she saw a small, glowing figure. It was a tiny ghost, no taller than a book, with a playful smile on its face. "Hello there," Emily said softly, not wanting to scare the little ghost. The ghost floated closer and introduced itself as Lily. "I didn't mean to cause any trouble," Lily explained. "I just want to play with the children. But I can't touch anything and I can't talk to them. So I made the toys move and whisper to them, hoping they would notice me." Emily felt a pang of sympathy for Lily. She turned to the Ghostly Detectives and said, "We need to help her, too. She's lonely and just wants a friend." Sir Henry nodded in agreement. "You are right, Emily. Let's find a way to help Lily make friends with the children of Willowbrook." Together, they came up with a plan. Emily wrote a letter to the children of the town, explaining about Lily and how she just wanted to play. She left a letter in the library, hoping the children would find it. The next day, Emily returned to the library and found it filled with children. They had read her letter and were excited to meet Lily. The little ghost floated out from behind a bookshelf, and the children welcomed her with open arms. They played games, shared stories, and laughed together. From that day on, the strange occurrences in Willowbrook ceased. Lily had found her friends, and the town was at peace once more. Emily and the ghostly detectives had solved the mystery, and they had learned that even ghosts can find happiness when they have someone to care for them. As Emily walked back to her house, she felt a sense of accomplishment and joy. She knew that the ghostly detectives would always be there, ready for their next adventure, and she couldn't wait to see what mystery they would solve next.